Hey, welcome to Reading with Jim Larsen. I am Jim Larsen. I'm going to read to you. I am going to read today from Westinghouse News. What we got here? It is volume 16, number 24, printed on Tuesday, December 19th, 1961. I'm going to read from the back page. There's an article here. It is titled Frank Chismar bowls fourth 300 game as Big Five race gets off to fast start. Let's take a look at that. There's a picture of the guy. There's the legendary Frank Chismar in all his bowling glory. Can you see that? Can't really see it, can you? Not getting it in the shot. Oh, just trust me. No, it's not it. Can't really say, well, just listen. Just don't worry about what the guy looks like. He's a professional bowler, so he kind of looks like you would expect him to look. All right. Frank Chismar bowls 4-300 game as Big Five race gets off to fast start. Frank Chismar has done it again. The ace 10-pin bowler from East Pittsburgh rolled another perfect game. The fourth in his 21-year bowling career and third since Big Five competition got underway back in 1946. He's the only Big Five kegler to hit the charm circle more than once. Frank chalked up the two earlier dream games entered in the new sponsored contests in 1949 and 1958. Under the revised rules of this season's all 10 pins Big Five contest, Frank's perfect game entry entitles him to select and receive his prize immediately. ... Entitles him to select and receive his prize immediately. I don't know what those ... dots are there for. That's called an ellipse. When you see a ... that's called an ellipse. Where was I? After the ellipse. And eliminates him from further competition in the current race. That doesn't seem like an appropriate use of an ellipse. Everyone else still has a chance to win a similar top prize when the contest closes next June. The man and woman bowlers who submit the highest scores other than a 300 will get to choose one of the fine Westinghouse products being offered by the news as prizes. These include a clock radio, 7-transistor portable radio, cozy glow heater, double bed-size electric blanket with dual controls, electric hair dryer, and the 12-inch Immerse-O-Matic buffet fry pan with control and new broiler lid. Frank chose the clock radio as his prize. So, if you chalk up a good score, be sure to report it to the bowling editor of the news. Include your full name, work location, score, and signature of league or tournament secretary certifying the score. Scores must be for actual pinfall in a single league or tournament game. Lots of scores entered. This is a new section. It's written in bold. Activity in Big Five bowling is off to its best start in several years, with lots of good scores besides Frank Chismar's 300 already entered by employees all across the country. Heading up the men's division is East Pittsburgh crane repairman Nick Cavaccio, who has chalked up a hard-to-beat 298. This tops the previous high game of Nick's 12-year bowling career by 52 pins. Veronica Sharoshik grabbed first place in the women's race with a 244 performance in her first league game of the current season. She works at the Bath plant as a heater welder. Here are the scores to beat. Men. Nick Cavaccio of East Pittsburgh has 298. Herb Stewart from Milwaukee Sales, 289. Walt Vandrick of Forest Hills at 279. That's hard to read. Rudolph Sadach from East Pittsburgh, bowled 277. Carl Berner from Kansas City rolled 267. Joe Cienko from Chicago rolled 267. In the women's, we got Veronica Sherashik from Bath at 244. We mentioned her already. Betty Graskaj from Sunnyvale is at 242. Roberta Bashosh from East Pittsburgh is at 199. I can't pronounce. Genevieve Vanda Helger from East Pittsburgh, 185. Sylvia Gallagone from Bettis is at 162. And finally, Betty Koznak from Bettis is also at 162. And this concludes another edition of the highly popular, acclaimed, and prize-winning show on YouTube, Reading with Jim Larsen. I thank you once again for joining me. If this is your first time, I appreciate it. I hope you'll click around and just see what else is on my channel. Subscribe if you like what you see. Don't subscribe if you don't. I won't know one way or the other, nor will I personally care, to be honest with you. All right, well, that's that. I'm gonna go into Starbucks here. I'm parked in a parking lot in good old Culpeper, Virginia. Still got a little more time here. I don't really like the Starbucks here like I used to. They remodeled at some point from my last visit to Culpeper to this visit to Culpeper, and it doesn't have the charm it used to have. I don't really like it as much as I used to, so I don't really spend time in there. I usually get my drinks to go. I always get the same thing. I always get a grande Pike Place, no sugar. Sometimes I'll get cream in it just for something different, but not usually. I like to taste the coffee. I'm not into these specialty fancy foo-foo drinks. I just like coffee. All right, that's what I'm doing. Later.